I'm sending you greetings. Yeah, I'm sending you greetings, the people of Teso, the people of Uganda. My name is Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert, aka Bobi Wine. I'm sending you greetings, and I'm very honored to be here with you today.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable. We have a 1-hour interaction, and I am hoping that the people of Teso will be sharing together with us. I want us to start this discussion. First and foremost, there is a lot happening in the country, and we've seen so much going through in our political parties, especially the opposition political parties being affiliated to be working with the NRM. I want to understand from you, as the president of the leading opposition political party in the country, how do you evaluate the current political temperature in the country?
Well, thank you very much for that question. I'll tell you that there's a difference between the politicians and the people of Uganda. The people of Uganda are forever yearning for change, are forever yearning for freedom. They are trying as much as possible to free from the Museveni dictatorship, which has oppressed them for 37 years. However, there are also leaders like myself and others that are leading the people to change. Many among us are compromised as it keeps opening up, and yet many are still solid and are still on the mission of freeing Uganda. Yes, please.
Okay. Now that we've seen different political parties in the opposition being presented as victims of the compromise that you've just talked about, what do you think is the fate of the opposition parties in the country, especially the NUP?
I will tell you that it is not the first time that you're having politicians compromise. The reason why I don't like to call myself a politician, even if I am in politics, is because of that historical reasons. It is not the first time. In 1966, Milton Obote compromised the entire opposition, in parliament. But that did not mean that he had compromised the population. You have seen people changing. You've seen the likes of Anita Monk selling out, the likes of Mama Mavida selling out. Also, presidents of political parties like Norbert Mao and others, you've seen them compromising, changing from the values they stood for, from what made the people support them to support the junta, because it's always comfortable to support the dictatorship. I will tell you that General Museveni, like all dictators, has used the two methods. He either uses coercion and violence, or he uses bribes and compromise. So you will notice that most of the politicians don't have a side job. They turn the politics into their means of earning. Therefore, when Museveni brings them money, they sell out. Others fear prison, they fear jail, they even fear death. So when they are intimidated, they sell out. That has been happening. That continues to happen. But I will also tell you that more and more Ugandans keep opening up their eyes. The reason why I came into the politics of Uganda was to raise a new generation, a new uncompromising generation. And that is what we are standing with. I am not saying that people will not sell out. People will continue selling out. But again, we shall continue opening more eyes. Maybe finally on that point, I'll tell you that we don't bank on politicians, we bank on the people of Uganda, because that is where our hope is.
Do you have politicians in NUP?
Definitely we do. I mean, even the NUP has not been spared of these efforts to compromise us. In fact, we are the biggest target of General Museveni. You have seen members of parliament like Kagabo Twaha. You have seen members of parliament like, I don't know this man's name from Njeru, Wanga, who have been compromised to sell out, to start supporting the same people that abducted their supporters, the same people that have been killing Ugandans, the same people that have impoverished Ugandans. So yes, we also have politicians in the NUP, but they are not representative of us, and at the right time, we shall pronounce ourselves about them.
Okay. Honorable, Electoral Commission recently launched all released a roadmap ahead of the 2026 general elections, and we've also seen the National Unity Platform releasing their first phase plan for a nationwide tour. What are the dynamics and what are the dynamics behind this, and how do you intend to ensure that your tours are not interrupted and they are successful?
Well, I can only tell you that on our side, we are doing the right thing within the law. About interruption, that is not our part. That is on the side of the regime. You are aware that the Museveni regime is very scared of Ugandans, and they try as much as possible to block us from accessing the population. The last time, our team tried to go and mobilize and meet our coordinators and leaders, on-ground leaders. They were brutalized, they were beaten, they were arrested. Recently in Moyo, our organizing secretary was arrested. That will not stop us from doing what we know is right and legal. However, you know that Museveni has continued to abuse the law because he's so scared of us going out there to talk to the people of Uganda. While his son is illegally holding political rallies, he is blocking a legally registered political party from engaging in political activities. That continues to expose his regime as a regime with double standards, as a criminal regime, but that will not stop us from doing what we are doing. About the Electoral Commission, we don't go by the program and plan of the Abakama. We go by the program and plan of us as the People Power Movement and the National Unity Platform.
So how prepared are you for this nationwide tour?
Well, we've always been prepared. We are beginning with Mbarara. We are going to address the radio station or people on the radio station, and we shall open our office on Mackinson Street, and we shall proceed to address our people, our supporters, at a venue that has been selected. Yes, please.
Okay, well, thank you very much. In case you've just tuned in, you're listening to 91.5 Akioga Veritas, your most reliable voice. I am hosting the principal of the National Unity Platform Party, that is the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, aka Bobi Wine, and he's here to share with us this particular morning more as politics take shape in the country. What is the game plan behind the NUP? How best can NUP ensure that they pursue their goal of liberating Ugandans as per their belief, and those that subscribe to the National Unity Platform Party? From the last time you had participated in the elections up to now, what more has the party done to ensure that, one, you build party structures? Because what most people seem to be saying is that the NUP does not have grassroots structures. How best are you trying to improve on your grassroots structures to ensure that you are able to mobilize people and your believers in the next coming elections?
It's important for me to let the world know that we have grassroots structures. Those that are looking for our grassroots structures are the ones that seek to compromise them. I will also remind you that we have always been hounded and oppressed and attacked by the police and military whenever we roll out. You know, they and that narrative of we don't have structures is a narrative being pushed by a regime that is very scared of us. Go out there to speak to our people, to mobilize and organize. Yeah.
Okay. There's been a lot of discussions in the country regarding who and how best we can have first a peaceful transition of power in case another leader is to come and take over the country, but also the information and the ideologies of different parties. I would want you to share with Ugandans and especially people from Teso that what is that the National Unity Platform Party is pushing for the people of Uganda that they should believe and follow.
We want the people of Uganda to believe and follow is that they are the owners of the country. I want the people of Teso, the people of Eastern Uganda and all of Uganda to know that this country is theirs. They have the power according to the law. Everything that is being done is supposed to be according to their will and according to their interest. All leaders are supposed to govern in the interest of the people of Uganda. So one, we want the people to know that the power is supposed to be in their hands. Those that are ruling us on gunpoint, and the gun rule must stop so that we have people power ruling, so that we have the will of the people, the desire of the people put up front. That is that is the first thing that the people of Teso should know. The second thing the people of Teso should know is that the dictator is not going to feel sorry for them and therefore give them their freedom. They must earn their freedom because they have been turned into a business. The reason why Museveni is ruling over us is because he is using our taxpayers' money, 2 billion every day. Museveni spends 2 billion every day. Even when he spends the day home, he has a budget of 2 billion shillings. That needs to be changed so that, because now imagine, that is a health center every day that uses. So when the people of Teso see their education system falling down, their healthcare falling down, the only reason is that the focus of those that rule over us is not the well-being of the people, but their own well-being. It's important that the people know that. When they know that, they will not need a Chagulanyi to remind them. I want them to know that they also can play a big role in the transformation of their country. I came into the politics of Uganda not to make people believe in my ability to change their lives, but to make them believe in their own ability to change their own lives. Actually, everything in their lives depends on the politics of the day. That we have been able to make people achieve, believe in that, that's confidence for us. Now about Museveni's son, although you call him a young man, I don't know when did a 50-year-old become a young man. But okay, you can call him a young man if we have to go by the standards of his brain and his action.
No, he's young to his father. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Well, we are not his father. You will notice that here Uganda is the youngest country in the world.
Yes.
With more than 85%, younger than 85. At 41 years old, I consider myself an elder. But when you consider a 50-year-old person simply because he's the son of Museveni, a young man, like I said, I understand because there are many standards to measure. You could be measuring by his words and his actions, and that is okay. To see that he's being, moving around with the people in office, in the military, parliamentarians and ministers, I will tell you that these people honestly don't support Museveni's stand, just like they don't support Museveni. But they fear if Museveni fails today, those are the first people that are going to celebrate. I will not mention names, but I will tell you, my brother, that these people, many of them reach out to me silently, expressing to me the disdain and disgust that they have of the regime that is ruling over them. But because they are oppressed, they are enslaved, and therefore they have to work and serve until that day comes when the dictator falls, and you will see their true colors. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. A very quick one. Recently, we've seen after Parliament passed a bill of the LGBT bill, and we saw human rights activists across the world, some condemning this in Uganda, and recently we saw the World Bank withdrawing their support and their aid to the country. What do you make of that?
Well, first and foremost, I will tell you that I like the hypocrisy of those Western countries. You know, Museveni has been killing people left, right, and center They killed people in Mukula, you remember. They killed people in Kasese. They killed people here in Uganda. They killed people in Acholi land. They oppress people. They torture people. All those are human rights. The first human right is the right to life. But to see that those white people do not respect all our rights. We've been calling for sanctions. They don't give sanctions, and they only give sanctions when that law is passed. I see that as hypocrisy, and that is, and I came out and I told them openly, and I told them that that actually shows that as if they are pushing a certain agenda and imposing it on the people. Yeah, because they are selective in their observation of human rights. Yes.
Okay, well, now that they have withdrawn their support and, the life of Ugandans, even within their support, has not been to really a capacity that one would appreciate in terms of livelihood. The economy has been struggling. Do you see us as a country now struggling deeper without this support? And what more can we be able to do as a country to ensure that we are able to exist amidst the threats that we are getting from the Western world?
First and foremost, that aid has not been helping us because it has been stolen. You remember when they stole the COVID money? All that money is stolen. That is the money that Museveni's family and his hunger zone used to build arcades and apartments and even buy buildings abroad. That is the money. Aid money is brought, but it is stolen. So it was not helping in the first place. Now that the aid has been cut, we are even in more trouble because the thieves are still having a huge appetite. So they are going to be stealing our taxpayers' money instead of the donor money. So we are even in trouble.
So the bite we are going to get is simply that there's going to be a shift of mind from where the money is going to be picked from, as you term it, to be stolen.
Come again, please.
You said that we would not feel a bite if the people that have been embezzling these funds don't shift their minds to the taxpayers' money. Does it mean that we are going to have a lot of money being embezzled from the taxpayers' money, and at the end of the day, we struggle more?
I will remind you that according to the URA, 10 trillion shillings is lost annually to corruption. If there was no that corruption, then that 10 trillion would be added to the national budget, and it would make tremendous change. So if, number one, the money that we get out of our taxes alone and the money that we get out of our natural wealth, if that natural wealth is put to the benefit of all Ugandans, in my view, is enough. For example, Museveni's family has privatized the gold trade. Now it is put in Entebbe, and it is Museveni's family. If it's not him, it is Salim Saleh. If it's not Salim Saleh, it is Sodo. If it's not Sodo, it is his son or his wife. Okay? If that changes and that money is diverted to things that transform the lives of Ugandans, it would be better. If the corruption stops and that 10 trillion that is lost to corruption is diverted to things that benefit Ugandans, we will be benefiting. So I will tell you that what we need most is people in power to change from their absolute corruption to doing things that benefit the country.
It's a vice that seems to be not getting into its conclusion. We've seen people make so many attempts to fight corruption, but it does not seem to be yielding fruits. What do we need to do as a country? And possibly you can...
I'm sorry, I lost you. Please ask the question from the beginning.
I said corruption, as you said, is one virus in the country that so many bodies, the civil society, the governments, the political activists have been trying to fight, but we do not seem to be getting into its conclusion. What do we need to do as a country to ensure that we have a free, corrupt country?
The chief priest of corruption is Yoweri Museveni himself. You remember the former IGG Muriagonja made a public statement and said she can only deal with the small corrupt officials, but the big corrupt officials hide behind the president. Recently, when they were having an anti-corruption march, Museveni publicly told the new IGG Betty Kamya to stop chasing the corrupt officials. He said if she dares to audit their lifestyle, then they will take the corruption money and invest it out of the country. He is the chief defender of corruption. Every corruption scandal is traced up to his doorstep. All those corrupt ministers, the Jim Mwezis, the Mike Mukolas, they are only arrested for 2 days, and later on they are released only to be transferred to another ministry. You remember the people that stole the iron sheets that belonged to Karamoja, those people that included the vice president, the speaker of parliament, the minister of ethics and integrity, the prime minister, and all of those people. They were not touched. Those that were arrested, they were kept in for only a few hours and released, and now the cases have died out. What does that mean? That the leader of the corruption squad is Yoweri Museveni. Until we remove that evil man, we are still struggling with corruption.
Well, an evil man. Is it through prayer, or how are we going to remove the evil man that you're saying you are? Yeah.
I will tell you that for me, my mother taught me that God can only do for you what He can do through you. There's no miracle that is going to happen. We have to do it ourselves. And the good news is that we are already in the process. Yes, please.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We are stopping at 11, but I want to understand from you on 6th of September, if I am very, very clear about it, you're supposed to be in Teso. And the Itesots are expecting from you. First of all, how is your program for Teso?
Thank you very much. What is my program for Teso?
How is your program for Teso?
Is a revamption. We know that the people of Teso have suffered so much that they stole their to revamp the healthcare in Teso, the education system in Teso, and the infrastructure in Teso. That, in my view, is going to positively affect the agriculture in Teso, positively going to advance the standard of living in Teso, and will be a good additive to the aspirations of the people of Teso.
Okay, Teso, according to statistics, seem to highlight as the second poorest tribe in the country. What do you intend to do as a party to ensure that you lift the lifestyles and the livelihood of Teso?
Like I said, if we improve the education system, the healthcare system, so that they don't have to have a limping healthcare system and education system, if we improve the infrastructure in Teso, that will be the beginning point.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And you just touched something very interesting. You talked about compensation. Teso, like you said, lost their cows. Should we hope that when the NUP come to power, there will be compensation in Teso?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Because, the people of Teso, and, it extends to northern Uganda. That is something that must be dealt with decisively.
Well, thank you very much. 91.5 Kyoga Veritas, your most reliable voice. You're listening to the very interesting Teso Naikoto program. Emmanuel Okia, Emma the Great is my name, and I host the principal or the president